Hey everyone, I'm Dave and welcome to World's Best Recipes. Today we're going to be making the world's best Stromboli, at least according to artificial intelligence, search engines, things like that. That's what we do here. We look things up, we try new recipes, we see if they really are the world's best, and today we're doing Stromboli. Now I'll be honest, Stromboli does not seem like it's going to be easy to cook. I typed into Chatgpt, which is like an artificial intelligence program where basically, well, I'm not gonna try to explain artificial intelligence. Let's just say I'm in search of the best recipes in the world, and I figure this might be one of the ways to find it. So when I searched for it, the recipe for homemade Stromboli came out, and that's what we're gonna cook. And to start off, it says we need to make the dough. So it says, in a large bowl, combine the warm water, sugar, and yeast, and let sit for 5 minutes until the yeast becomes frothy. So I went and bought all the ingredients. And I'll tell you what, it has been outlandishly muggy here lately, to the point where this bowl is fogging up just sitting out here. That's how wet the air is around me. So I don't know. Hopefully this goes well and I don't sweat to death during the video. How much yeast do we need? We need 1 tablespoon. So this is active dry yeast. We need 1 tablespoon of it. And so we'll take our 1 tablespoon. This whole package might just be a tablespoon by default. I'm not sure. Let's take a look. Yeah, it looks like it basically is a tablespoon. So there you go. We're done with the tablespoon of dry yeast. And we need to add warm water, sugar. How much sugar? A teaspoon of sugar. Is this real? That can't be from condensation, can it? That dripping on top of my sugar tin? Oh, well, anyways, I got my sugar over there. So there's a teaspoon of sugar that we're gonna add to here as well. And now we need a cup of water. It says warm water, so I actually got some warm water out of the faucet here. And we're just gonna do 1 cup of this and add that as well. So now we've got our sugar, our yeast, and our water, and we're gonna mix that up a little bit. Now, is Stromboli similar to a calzone? I honestly don't know. My friend told me he had Stromboli, and I said, ooh, I should make a world's best Stromboli. That sounds pretty delicious. So we're just gonna mix this up here. Now it says, combine the warm water, sugar, and yeast. Let sit for 5 minutes till the yeast becomes frothy. Okay, so let's just set that aside until 5 minutes from now. You know what the craziest thing is about the temperature out here? It's only 7:30 in the morning. I'm out here early because I know it's gonna get even crazier later today, and it's already crazy hot. So anyways, we got that set aside. Okay, so next we're gonna add salt and olive oil to that yeast mixture after 5 minutes, and gradually add the flour while stirring. Mix until the dough starts to come together. Is my bowl too small? I feel like my bowl might be too small. How much flour? Crap. I might need a bigger bowl. Okay, so let me get a bigger bowl, and then, yeah, I think that's what we gotta do. Okay, so I came up with a plan and a strategy. I'm gonna put all the flour onto this plate here so that I've got it all measured out. And basically what it says, you need 2 1/4 cups of flour, and we're gonna add that into the yeast in a minute. But we gotta let the yeast activate, I think. Although it's active, so shouldn't it already be activated? I'm not really sure. 2 1/4 cups, I said, right? Yeah, that's 2 cups. And here's my little 1/4 cup. So 2 1/4 cups of flour, and we'll just set this aside. That's gonna go into the yeast in a minute. And hopefully leaving it out in the heat doesn't give it an infection. See what I did there? Oh, that's really weird kitchen humor. Okay, this is gonna be our bowl, I think, that we're gonna mix it all into in a second. What else do I need? I need to add salt to that as well, so let me get the salt. Oh, you know, it's perfect you're here because I saw this the other day, iodized salt. The other salt they had said it did not contain iodine. So which one are you supposed to use when you're cooking? The one with iodine or the one without iodine? Please let me know. And I know some of you are gonna be like, ew, table salt, blah. You must use artisanal sea salt that is kosher from the Dead Sea to have a good recipe. Well, this doesn't say it. So when I asked ChatGPT, it just said salt. So I just grabbed something that said salt, and I got the iodized version to help provide iodide, which is a necessary supplement, nutrient, not supplement. All right, so we've got that measured. That's a teaspoon of salt. We're gonna use that in a second. It has been 4 minutes. Does this look frothy yet? It says 5 minutes for it to become frothy. Let's see, let's stir it up. Yeah, it looks kind of frothy. Yeah, I think so. It's like the color has, I don't know. Oh, it smells like bread. It smells like fresh bread. They must use yeast in bread. I know they do, guys, I'm just kidding. Okay, so now it says enlarge bowl. We're gonna put this in here, okay? Because that's what we're gonna actually use to mix it. And then, now that it's frothy, I'm gonna call it frothy at least. It's been 5 minutes. I think the only thing better than a Stromboli is a breakfast Stromboli. I'm kind of excited. That sounds like, oh, you know what? We could totally ask ChatGPT to make us a breakfast Stromboli in a future video. That'd be fun to try. I gotta get more wild with the ideas. That's even better. World's best breakfast. Anyways, we're not gonna talk about that now. So in here, we're gonna add the salt and olive oil. Why did I say flour? Oh yeah, it does say that. Okay, so olive oil and salt. So we want 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and I've decided I'm gonna add the olive oil first and then the salt. There's 1 tablespoon, that was the heaping tablespoon, and 2. And okay guys, this is the part where I say I'm not a professional cook, because I just screwed up, and you might have caught it, you might not have caught it, the camera might have it, it might not. On the other side of this measuring spoon is some of the dry yeast that didn't come out when I measured it before. And it poured into there. So right here, we've got a bunch of yeast that's not actually had the 5 minutes or whatever to soak. Can I like get it out of there? Well, I got some of it out of there. We're gonna say that's good enough. And then we're gonna add salt. So there you go. Not a professional cook, guys. Never claimed to be on this channel. Get all that salt in there. Mix that up a little bit. And then we're going to add the flour gradually. Now, here's the thing. Any sort of dough or roux or anything like that, whenever I have to cook them, I get a little bit of cooking anxiety because I don't feel like I'm good at these things, and that I feel like they're complicated and are slightly scientific, and you got to do a good job or it'll come out terrible, etc., etc. So I have some dough anxiety right now. Now this just says add flour while stirring. Mix the dough, mix until the dough starts to come together. So that's what we're doing. So I'm just slowly adding in this flour while I stir it. And at some point, we're gonna have a dough-like substance. Now, it's 2 1/4 cups, if you recall. I'm using my left hand to stir and right hand to put flour in. That's not ideal. I'm certainly not a lefty. My wife is, but I'm not. Is this fork the right tool for this? Like really, is it? I don't know. I have an apron that someone sent me that I need to put on, because I'm gonna get flour all over me. But you know what, half the fun is watching me get flour all over me and in my Bucky shirt. See, this is where I get impatient and just say, I wanna add it all. All right, here, I'm gonna use my right hand because I'm really struggling to stir it. It's definitely starting to firm up here, and we're about to hopefully have the world's best Stromboli, as cooked by a beginner chef with a recipe provided by AI. So this is a recipe for disaster in reality. Oh, I'm throwing flour everywhere. So we gotta mix this up until it's all fully in there, and my impatience got ahead of me, and so now I've just combined it all. It's starting to dough up though. All right, now that it's well stirred, I feel like we can move to the next part, which is to put it on a floured surface and knead it. And I don't mean knead it like, oh, I need you. I mean it like, you know, knead it, like you're cooking something. Okay? Okay guys, gotta cook it. All right, so let's put it out on this surface. It kind of reminds me when I make biscuits or something like that. There we go. Maybe I'll flour my hands a little too. We're gonna knead it. I think it's just like this. Let's see, it's 7:55 in the morning, and it says to knead it for 5 to 7 minutes. Oh, that's work. That's work, guys. This is straight up work at this point. 5 to 7 minutes. I got things to do. All right, I guess I'll be back. I'm gonna do this for another 5 to 7 minutes. So at 8 a.m., this will be fully kneaded, and hopefully it'll look like dough. Why is this surface not staying floured though? Okay, can I blame the humidity for this continually, like the flour just disappearing and it's starting to stick to the surface? I think that might be the key. Maybe I don't, maybe I just do it like this. Maybe that's the key to success. See, I think the key to like getting really successful with the AI cooking, right? Asking Chatgpt, is we gotta get creative with our request. Let's try to think of something we could ask AI to make that's like never been made before. Something unique, a unique recipe, like a breakfast Stromboli. Okay, so it's been 5 minutes. It's still pretty sticky, but I'm blaming the humidity because it is super muggy out here. And I think I need to put this in a greased bowl. Let me go get a bowl. So we have a bowl. We wanna grease it. I'm just gonna use some Pam here. I think that's fine. Am I supposed to use flour? I could throw a little flour in there too, just to be safe. There you go, some flour and some Pam. You get your dough into a ball here, it says, and then just plop it in there. And then take a damp washcloth, damp, not drenched. Mine is damp and warm. And so I just warmed this and dampened it and set it over it and then set it in a warm place. I mean, this is technically a warm place, but I feel like it's too warm out here. But I don't really know all the science behind bread making. Grease large bowl with olive oil, place dough in it, cover bowl with damp kitchen towel, and let the dough rise for about an hour in a warm place until it has doubled in size. Okay, so we got an hour. We'll be back in an hour at 9 a.m. to move on to the next step. Okay, so we're back. It's been an hour, guys, and let's see if this rose at all. Yeah, that rose. We've had this rising for an hour, and so what we want to do now is we want to roll it out on the countertop. So we're going to bring our flour back into the mix here, flour the surface a little bit, maybe flour my hands a little bit, and we're going to dump this puppy out. Hopefully it comes out. Yeah, it's good. And then we got to roll it out, it says, right? Oh, punch it down. Punch, 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 and then roll it. Now I can't find my roller. Here's a trick, guys, if you didn't know it. We're just gonna use a tumbler. This is just like a metal tumbler that I'm gonna use because I can't find anything else to use. I think, do we want this like long? Yeah, I think this looks pretty good. And you wanna do it into a rectangle, it says. And then we're gonna add all the inside parts. It's pretty huge. Is it too huge? No, I think it's perfect. All right, can you see that? Make sure it's in everyone's view here. Layer the pepperoni, ham, salami, and provolone cheese. And I think it's the same amount of each. Yeah, it is. So here is some ham that I got at the deli. I think that's what I'm supposed to use. And it just says to layer it. And this is a half a pound? Yeah, this is a half pound. So all of this is going on here. This is pretty crazy. So we'll just layer it on there. We'll start with the ham. We're gonna have a delicious stromboli here pretty soon. I'll just put it everywhere is my plan. I'm just gonna cover all available space. Eventually this is gonna get rolled up, but it looks pretty good so far. And this, I just ordered like standard ham. I don't think it's like honey ham or anything like that. It's just straight ham. There's our ham. Now we need to do the same, but with provolone. Is it a half pound of provolone? I don't know, I'm kind of excited about this. It's like I'm making a sandwich, but in a pizza shell. Can't really beat that. I hear a lot of construction vehicles today. It's normally not this loud, guys. If you're new here, subscribe. I have all types of videos where I'm trying what Google calls the best recipe, what AI calls the best recipe. We're always on the hunt for new best recipes. Okay, I didn't spread that out evenly enough because that's all I've got. Spread that out a little better here. How about we do that? There we go. There's our provolone. Now we've got, is this a half pound of salami? Yep, half a pound of salami. Ah, this is making me really hungry. Now I want to go to a deli, but I don't need to because there's a deli right here in my backyard. Spread the salami out. Is this salami or pepperoni? Hold on. This is, oh, it's covered up here. Well, I'll just look at this one. This one's the pepperoni, so this one's the salami. Yeah, it's a half a pound of each of them. Anyways, all right, let me spread these out. Okay, so there's all our salami spread out. Now we do the pepperoni. Spreading the pepperoni out just like we spread the salami out. This is actually getting quite full. I guess that's how it's supposed to be. I wonder if I should have spread the dough even further and not spread it enough. I mean, look at this, is like a huge pile of meat on here. I wonder if AI went overboard on the quantity of meat. I don't know. It's not a cheap recipe either, if you think about it. Half a pound of this, half a pound of that, half a pound of this, half a pound of that. It's kind of pricey. Boom, boom. All right, so there's all our meat and cheese. Now we need to add some Parmesan cheese, basil, olive oil, and dried oregano. So it's a 1/4 cup of Parmesan. I shredded up some Parmesan on my own. I'm just gonna spread it out over here. Does it say grated or shredded? I don't know, I'm doing shredded. I guess I could have done grated. It's not much. I don't think that's gonna really add that much flavor to it. Anyways, maybe a little bit, a hint of Parmesan. How much olive oil? Olive oil is kind of weird to put on here too. It calls for a 1/4 cup of olive oil. Pour it on there? Kind of bizarre. Do I have a 1/4 cup? I don't know. I'm trying to find a measuring implement. Here we go. 1/4 cup of olive oil. And I don't like this. I don't like putting a liquid in here, but we're gonna do it because that's what AI said to do. Did I just ruin this whole recipe, guys? Maybe I should have put this straight on the dough and spread it out on the dough at the bottom. That would have made more sense logically, but AI doesn't always know what it's talking about. So we're just doing what it says here. Yeah, I mean, the oil's dripping off the side. That was kind of a weird thing for it to tell me to do. I followed it blindly. I probably shouldn't have. All right, so now we're doing a teaspoon of oregano. And I'll just put that in my hand and sprinkle it over like so. Have it Mike's way. Jersey Mike's reference. And a half a teaspoon of garlic powder, which you probably could add a little more if you like it extra garlicky, but I'll try to stick to the recipe they said. And just kind of sprinkle it on here. Dave's way. There we go. It says to put a A little pepper on it as well. All right, take a little pepper onto it as well. Not too much. And then we need to roll it. It says starting from the longer side, so that means like over here. Tightly roll the dough into a log, tucking and filling as you go. This seems like it's gonna be hard, guys. We'll see what happens. All right, so we're gonna try to do this. I feel like I would much rather start on the shorter side, to be honest with you. It would have made it a lot easier. But we're tucking in the dough as we go, tightly rolling. Some of the dough is sticking to the table because of the humidity, but actually, it's kind of working regardless. No thanks to the olive oil. All right, so there we go. Now, we take this and we set it on a Well, okay, so pinch the ends. It said that somewhere. Pinching the ends. And then we're supposed to put it seam side down on a baking dish. Let me see if I have a bigger one. All right, so here's a bigger baking dish. Still not big enough, but much closer. And if I put it diagonal there, you're supposed to put it seam side down. Seam side down like so. It's kind of going right to the edge. That might end up causing problems. We'll see. Hopefully it doesn't rise too much. It says to brush the top with some olive oil. So I'm just gonna use my hand. Not really a very professional way to do it, but that's fine. Some olive oil on there. It's a giant Stromboli. Again, I wouldn't have had this size issue if I had gone the other way when I rolled it, but it told me to roll it the long way. It says to take a sprinkle of dried oregano over the top, like so, and also a little bit of salt. I might use some coarse salt for that. I feel like that'd be better. All right, so I've got some coarse sea salt that I'm just gonna add on top as well because I feel like that'd add a little deliciosity to it. And it says to add salt, I just think coarse would be better. Now this is gonna go into the oven, guys, at 400 degrees. And it's gonna go in there for, how long? 25 to 30 minutes until it's golden brown and the cheese is melted and bubbly. While that's cooking, we will get the sauce ready. So let me go set this in the oven. Okay, so we're gonna heat up our marinara sauce, which is gonna be our dipping sauce for the Stromboli, guys. I've just got this little induction cooker and we're gonna throw, I went basic. I got Prego, which is a weird name for a pasta sauce or like a spaghetti sauce, Prego. Like pregnant, that's what I think of when I see it. So basically for the sauce, it says to heat up your marinara sauce, throw in some dried oregano, garlic powder, and dried basil. And it says like half a teaspoon of each, but it says only 1 cup of marinara, and I'm pretty sure I just did 2 cups of marinara. So I'm gonna double all that and do a teaspoon of basil, teaspoon of oregano, and half a teaspoon of garlic powder. This sauce is heating up. We're gonna throw in some dried basil. It says 1 teaspoon because we did a full can. I think that's the way to go. Ignore the construction workers, guys. I know it's obnoxious, but I can't control it. Only can control the controllable, right? All right, so a teaspoon of this, like so. And then I'll do a teaspoon of oregano. And then we will do, what's the last thing? Some garlic powder. It says like a half a teaspoon of that. Again, you can kind of do the sauce to taste, I would say. All right, so we stir that all together. And then we heat it up and we've got our marinara sauce. Perfection. Oh, it's so hot, it's so hot, it's so hot, it's so hot. It's burning my hand. Oh, giant Stromboli is in the house. Guys, we have an enormous Stromboli here. Hopefully it's good. I think it's done. See, that's the timer. 25 minutes has passed and our Stromboli should be done. I wanna like place it out onto the cutting board maybe. How about that? That's a good idea. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna extricate it from the, my sauce is still cooking over to the left and heating up, and the Stromboli kind of started to cook into the pan, so I don't know if we're gonna be able to get it out successfully. We're certainly gonna try. Okay. All right, so we're trying to get this off the pan. Oh man, see, it wants to fall apart though. All my recipes are ending up looking bad. Dang it. Okay, whatever. Maybe we'll leave it on here for now. Let's just cut into it because I can't really extricate it from the, dang it. Guys, I'm just not my food doesn't always look the best. Tastes good, but doesn't always look the best. Let's just cut into it and take a look at it. Actually, cutting into it might have been the secret all along. Check that out. There we go. Now I can move it around a little. All right, let me get a spatula. I want to get it off of the cookie sheet. There we go. Onto the cutting board. All right, let's turn her around. Does it look good? I said, does it look good?
Yes. I'm gonna eat it.
And we got some sauce here. Okay, So let me get a picture. Let me get a couple pictures. All right, guys, our stromboli is done. It looks absolutely delicious. I feel like it could be a little crustier, but it's pretty crusty. We've got our sauce here all ready to go. The cameras are overheating. It's so hot at this point, so let's cut a piece and give it a shot and see how it tastes. Tina, my wife, is excited to try this too. That's always a good sign. Check that out. How good does that look? We're gonna dip it in the sauce, and we're gonna go in and burn our mouth. Oh, wow. That is really good. Holy cow. I'm making a mess, but oh, I'm double dipping too. You know, and it wasn't even that hard to make this. Now that's a 10 out of 10 to me. I absolutely love this recipe. You should try it. AI did a great job, surprisingly enough. And I'll try it. Something else. Comment down below. What should we make next? What should we ask AI to make? This is a great one. Definitely try it out if you can. I think you're gonna love it. And it wasn't that hard. Even though it was scary, it wasn't that hard to do the whole sauce and all that stuff. So try it out. You're gonna love it.